Hey guys, Forex here. Hope you're all well. I have something new near my bench. Well, it's not on my bench. It's not the PlayStation. If I pan, we can probably already hear it. If I pan up, I've decided to put a TV on the wall, guys. Let me just turn my lights off, and you'll see it better. There you go. You should be able to see it better now, guys. Now, if you're seeing a little bit of flickering on the screen, don't worry about that. It's because the TV's in NTSC and I'm recording in PAL, so the shutter speed's not quite syncing with the TV, and that's why you're seeing a little bit of flicker. But you can't see that in real life, guys. Why I bought this TV, guys, was I was sitting here one day and I was looking straight at a blank wall, and I was like, if I get a small TV, I can fit it there. And what that allows me to do, instead of, because what I was doing before was I'd repair something or mod something, and then I'd have to pack it all away, take it into the spare room, hook it up to the TV in there, test it out, see if it worked, and then if it, if it needed more modding or it didn't work, I'd have to bring it back, set it all up again, and it just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and it was an absolute nightmare to do that, guys. So I like I said, I was just sitting in one day and I was like, I can fit a TV on that wall. Now I want to talk about the problem, guys, and I'm finding this, it was very common, guys, when I was searching for a TV to put there, was a lot of manufacturers now are actually dropping the SCART standard. So I would look online for a TV that I wanted, and I'd look through the specs and no SCART. I'm like, well, that's no good for me, because that's a must. I need a SCART input because I'm repairing like old and modding old classic consoles and computers and stuff, and most of them have SCART outputs, guys. One of the other things I wanted as well was I didn't want the TV to be fully smart, because you're just wasting money if you're just using it to display pictures to see if you get in a picture or you've got any corruption or anything like that. That's all you're really using the TV for. But I wanted the ability to be able to look at things like bitmaps, because then what I can do is I can get schematics offline, I can convert them to bitmaps and actually look at them while I'm working on something. And I'll show you what I mean by that, guys. If I go into the menu, I can bring up a schematic and show you what it looks like. So there you go, guys. What I can actually do is sit in front of the TV. If I zoom in a little bit on the schematic, it will bring it up. And what I can do now is sit in front of the TV and look through the schematic while I'm actually there on the bench working on something. So that's a real bonus, guys. And I'll tell you another bonus that I found out about this TV, and I only found out about it when I was setting it up. If I go into, now I'm going to have to be careful here, guys, because I'm going to have to go to the actual TV tuner side of things, and I don't want to get copyright flagged by the BBC. So if I go in there, I'm going to have to mute it pretty damn quick. If I go into the menu and bring up the broadcasting, and I'm trying to remember where it is, I think it's in edit channels. No, that's not the one. There we go. I'm going to be here all night trying to find the option now. Channel settings, there we go, manual tuning, and you can see it's got a digital and an analog tuner in it. So, and that's a massive bonus, guys. That to have a modern day TV that still has an analog tuner in it is great, because what that allows me to do, if I'm working on something like a Spectrum and it needs a composite mod, I can actually test the Spectrum to see if it's working before I go on to composite mod it, because I can hook it up through RF and actually test to see if it's working beforehand, guys. Also as well, what I decided to do, I don't know whether you can see actually under the TV, if you look, can you see like a black box with loads of SCARTs going in? What I decided to do there was, instead of well, you probably know this, guys. If you put a TV on the wall, it can be a pain in the arse to keep swapping cables in and out. So what I decided to do was just get one of those cheap SCART boxes, so I can actually permanently connect the SCART to the back of the TV, and then I can just use the box to swap the SCARTs. Because if you keep swapping the SCART on the back of the box, on the back of the TV, over time you're going to damage the SCART, and it's especially more difficult with it on the wall. You know, I've got big hands and I can't get my hands to the back of the TV to actually fit it in. Before I go, guys, I want to just mention one thing. This TV can actually support C-Sync. If you remember, this is the actual PlayStation I C-Sync modded not long back, and as you can see, it takes C-Sync, guys. And I confirmed it even more as well, was because I got my arcade super gun and actually connected to this, and it took my MVS, Neo Geo MVS. It took my all my arcade boards, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Altered Beast, Double Dragon, Golden Axe. It accepted every single one of them, guys. So I can confirm that this TV likes C-Sync. If you're in the hunt for a TV, right, guys, and you know you're going to be using it for retro stuff, this thing can do all the retro stuff, but it's also got the full HDMI inputs. It's got 2 HDMI inputs. So what I'll do now, guys, is I'll just leave you with a little box of what this TV can accept, the input signals, and yeah, I'll catch you on the next one, guys.